What's good, guys? We're jumping off right after the stream. We're doing 6 best bets and lock of the week. I want to mention I'm not going to be able to upload this tomorrow, so that's why I'm uploading it tonight. This is the 6 best bets lock of the week. I give you guys my most confident picks. My most confident picks, lock of the week, 2 bonuses, and of course a parlay section that I think many of you guys are going to love. So without further ado, if you guys haven't, just drop a like. The lock of the week streak continues to 5, looking to make it 6 this week. Zachary Reese, Joshua Van by Kira on points, Mansour Abdul-Malik by Kira on points, Nazim Sadikov and Pantoja. 5-fight lock of the week streak. Looking to put it all on the line this week. We're going to see if we can head into UFC 318 with a good lock of the week streak. So if you guys haven't, just give me a like. I hope you guys enjoy this one. And let me know your favorite segment. So let's go. Here we go. My first most confident pick of the week, baby. My first most confident pick of the week. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu is 14-5-0. Kennedy Nzechukwu is set to face off against Walter Walker. Kennedy is minus 220. Walter Walker plus 168. Kennedy is making his 3rd appearance at heavyweight. Walter Walker's only loss in his UFC debut is against Lucas Brzeski. Kennedy is in a tough fight coming off of 2 back-to-back KO wins over Chris Barnett and Lucas Brzeski. Kennedy is looking to make his 3rd appearance at heavyweight. Walker is on a double heel hook run, submitting Junior Tafa and Dontel Mays both by heel hook. I think this is going to be a very dicey fight, very dicey, confident pick because, Kennedy Nzechukwu got one of the biggest layup schedules ever in 2024. Still found a way to lose that fight. He should have been sending the matchmakers an arrangement of something. So, we know against Ovince St. Peru, Kennedy looked absolutely terrible. So, I have to bring that to mind. And then here, Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Walter Walker. The term, pick on someone your own size, is an idiom used when a bigger, taller person picks fights with a smaller or weaker person because they have an advantage. That's exactly what's happening Saturday night as Nzechukwu finally meets someone taller, bigger than him inside the octagon. Nzechukwu is the favorite at a minus 218 with a win probability of 68%. True win probability calculator, Nzechukwu at a minus 170. AI Fight Simulator is picking Walker to win, and they got him to win by 25% by sub. And this guy makes a great point. What concerns me is that Nzechukwu needs to finish to win. Walker needs to take it to 3 rounds to win. Walker has never been finished. So that's a good point that I wanted to mention. Walker has never been finished. Walker will be hunting down takedowns, but this is going to be a massive step up in competition for both guys. I will say Kennedy Nzechukwu lost the last time against Ovince St. Peru. He looked like a fish out of water. I think Kennedy Nzechukwu should be able to look a lot better this time around. May the best man win. Now we're going to go into my second most confident pick of the week, baby. Let's go. The lock of the week is going to be the 5th most confident pick of the week. Second most confident pick, baby, Chris Curtis. Chris, the action man Curtis. I don't know if he deactivated his Instagram because I was looking for Instagram, but I couldn't find it. Chris Curtis, minus 310. Max Griffin, plus 230. Chris Curtis is going down to 170 to take on Max Griffin. Max Griffin is 39 years old, coming off a submission loss to Michael Chiesa 7 months ago. Chris Curtis seems like 170 is the place to be. In my honest opinion, I think Chris Curtis should have been here his entire career. But obviously, he had a lot of good fights, and he took a short notice fight at 185, and he's been there since. Curtis is 31-12 overall at 37 years old. I like Chris Curtis by KO or on points if you want more value. But give me Chris Curtis at a minus 310. I think he should be able to win this fight. And I accidentally exited out of it, but I had a tab right here. Ian Gary versus Chris Curtis right here. We know that they've trained together, and what was Chris Curtis saying? He was saying his rib rolled. So what did Gary say? He said, take time off, we're going to work. So that's something that I like to see. I like to see Gary helping Chris Curtis helping Gary. Iron sharpens iron, guys. And you guys know if your rib gets separated, take a break, take it back, take it easy. So give me Chris Curtis to win this fight. I think he should be able to win this fight. I had another tab, but I accidentally exited out. Chris Curtis for the dub. I think he should be able to win this fight. Let's go, my guy, Chris Action Man Curtis for the dub. Now we're going to go to my 3rd most confident pick of the week, baby. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Morgan Charrier, 20 wins, 11 losses, and 1 draw. Morgan Charrier versus Nate Landwehr. Morgan minus 260. Nate Landwehr plus 196. Nate the Train is 37 years old. 3-2 out of his last 5. He lost to Dan Ige, and most recently lost to Doo Ho Choi inside the distance. He knocked out Jamal Emmers bad, though. Nate Landwehr has cardio and output on his side. Morgan Charrier is coming off of a decision loss to Nathaniel Wood where he got dropped 3 months ago. Morgan to win this fight, but he tends to make fights a lot more closer than they need to be. As you guys know, I feel like I bring this up every time. He's lost 10 decisions, and out of those 10 decisions, he's lost 5 by split. So you know that's a massive red flag. He tends to make fights a little bit closer than they need to be. But I think Morgan Charrier should be able to win this fight. Iron sharpens iron. And I think that fight with Nathaniel Wood, Morgan Charrier has learned a lot from. Give me Morgan Charrier for the dub. I think he should be able to win this fight. And this is 4 days until Morgan Charrier's return to the UFC. Our Frenchman is back facing the American Nate Landwehr on the main card of UFC Nashville. To celebrating, we're revisiting the best finishes of his career. And this guy's career, in my opinion, it's not anywhere near over. Give me Morgan Charrier to beat Nate Landwehr. Let's go, my guy, Morgan Charrier. Now we're going to go into my 4th most confident pick of the week, baby. That's right, my 4th most confident pick of the week. Let me know what you guys think. Here we go. Without further ado, baby, let's go. Steve Garcia, this is going to get dicey. It's going to get tricky. It's going to get sweaty. Steve Garcia is in a tough test. Minus 130 for Steve Garcia. Calvin Kattar, plus 102. Every time I see the odds, I know that this is going to be a close fight. The odds speak for itself. Calvin Kattar is on a 4-fight losing skid, losing to the best. Josh Emmett by split, Arnold by KO. He blew his knee out, and both Aljamain Sterling and Uselyis by decision. I will say he looked very competitive against Uselyis. In fact, Calvin Kattar defended a lot of takedowns from Uselyis, and he took the 3rd round off of Uselyis. Calvin defended a lot of takedowns from Zalal, took the 3rd round off of him. Kattar can tend to enter his flow state and download data. He makes good reads, but he just starts off slow. Steve Garcia to win the first 2 rounds, or at least two rounds out of the 3. Garcia for the dub, but this could get dicey if Garcia is getting picked apart from the outside. We know Calvin is very technical, very base. He had a very good elbow down the center that he hit Jeremy Stevens with, and I thought that was actually pretty amazing. Very good read from Calvin. And when we look at what Steve Garcia has to offer, we know that this guy has very good boxing, very good fast hands. He can also dance like salsa boy. Give me Steve Garcia for the dub to beat Calvin Kattar, but this is going to be one of his toughest tests, if not by far his toughest test. He has good footwork, but I will say Steve Garcia, you might have to mix it up, so don't believe in your striking, but if you have the wrestling in your back pocket, don't be afraid to use it. Let's go, my guy, Steve Garcia for the dub. And this guy, Calvin Kattar, says, I got to get started a little earlier. We know that this is an issue with Calvin Kattar. The UFC Post, UFC News, follow them if you guys haven't. I know you guys might not be able to see the whole thing. Let me put it up. It says, I got to get started earlier. Calvin wants to focus on what he can control. Against Steve Garcia, push the pace and get his hand raised for the first time since 2022. So we know Calvin Kattar wants to start off earlier, and I expect him to start off earlier and be a little bit more dangerous. I'm expecting the most dangerous Calvin Kattar, if not by far the most dangerous Calvin Kattar right now. You could say it's a big step up for Garcia at a minus 140, but I think we're getting great value here. Calvin Kattar's coming off of 4 straight losses. Yes, he's faced top contenders, but Garcia, but this is Garcia's first shot at a top contender. And shout out to this guy, guys. Give him a follow if you guys haven't already, guys. Combat Sports, guys. He makes a very good point. I do think that a lot of people are, just looking at the red and they're just going Steve Garcia. So be careful. Give me Steve Garcia for the dub. Now we're going to go to my lock of the week, baby. My 5th most confident pick of the week. Let's go, let's go, let's go. My 5th most confident pick of the week, baby. My lock of the week. Let's go. Gabriel Bonfim, 17-1-0. Gabriel Bonfim is set to face off against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Bonfim minus 430. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson plus 300. Bonfim only pro loss is to Nicholas Dalby in a fight where he was winning, but he ended up getting tired because he was chasing submission over position. Bonfim's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Ange Losa and Chaos Williams. Wonderboy has 1 win out of his last 5. Wonderboy's only win out of his last 5 is Kevin Holland. He lost to Burns, Bilal, Shavkat, and Buckley. I will say, Wonderboy looked amazing against Shavkat and Buckley. Very good contenders in the welterweight division. Wonderboy is going to give this guy a lot of problems on the feet. Bonfim is going to have to take this fight to the mat and look for control. Do not fall off the back. Do not get too reckless. Bonfim for the W to get this fight where he wants it, not chase submission over position, and do not make questionable decisions. Bonfim by submission on points if you want more value. But the reason why I'm just taking money line is because just in case he ends up getting a ground and pound TKO. We saw Stephen Wonderboy Thompson get knocked out against Buckley, but Buckley has different type of power than Bonfim. Give me Bonfim to be the surgeon and methodically find the submission. Bonfim moneyline at a minus 430. Let's go, my guy, as lock of the week. Every time I show Bonfim, I always show this clip. I had Bonfim in my 6 best bets in lock of the week multiple times before. Bonfim is always hard sparring. He's sparring hard sparring, getting sloppy, but he puts himself into the fire, and I just don't want him to get too reckless against a guy like Wonderboy because one shot, a nice kick, a nice spinning wheel kick, and you're going to start seeing stars. Give me Bonfim for the dub. I think Bonfim should be able to win this fight. He's gotten performance of the night bonus before. I think Bonfim should be able to win this night. Should be able to win this fight. But just don't get too crazy. Gabriel Bonfim. Shout out to Fins Chat MMA, guys. Fins Chat MMA is the one that actually that posted this. So shout out to Fins Chat. Fins_the. So, Stephen Thompson, Gabriel Bonfim, fast-moving Brazilian with high power and crazy effective BJJ, but he has to be methodical. 15 years younger than Wonderboy and has argued significantly less damage. Wonderboy has historically struggled against guys just like Bonfim, got subbed by Shavkat and controlled by Burns nearly the entire fight. But I will say, Wonderboy, if you're not finishing him inside the distance, he's always in the fight. So obviously I have to bring up the ways that Wonderboy can win. Give me Bonfim as lock of the week. Let's go. Now we're going to go into my 6th most confident pick of the week, baby. Let's go. Tallison Teixeira. Tallison Teixeira's 8-0 in his first main event in the UFC. Minus 280 for Tallison Teixeira. Derrick Lewis plus 210. Derrick has the most KOs in the UFC. 15 wins by KO in the UFC, but has been KO'd 7 times in his entire career. Derrick is 19-10 in the UFC. Overall, at 40 years old, he's being used as a stepping stone. Tallison is in his first UFC 5-round main event. He has a lot of first-round finishes, but I'm banking on him being able to be more technical fighter, be on the outside, and win this fight, and avoid Derrick Lewis looking for that one shot. Tallison for the W, but I will say this is a tough test, and one shot, you're not going to remember where you were. You're not even going to remember what even happened. Derrick Lewis is an absolute menace. One thing I like about Tallison Teixeira, guys, is he's always going to bring it. Even on Dana White Contender Series, he brought it, guys. The UFC is pushing him very hard. Give me Tallison Teixeira to win this fight, guys. I think he should be able to win this fight at a minus 280. I think it's very reasonable as an anchor to your parlay. And then we see the size difference, this week's main event size difference. Derrick Lewis, 6'3". Tallison Teixeira, 6'7". We'll see how big the size difference is on Friday. And we'll see. But I do think that this is going to be a very good fight. Both of these guys have a lot of first-round finishes. Give me Tallison Teixeira to be the one that ends up on top and victorious. Now we're going to go to my first bonus. What's it going to be, guys? First bonus. Let's get it. First bonus. First bonus is going to be the over 2.5. Morgan Charrier, Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr plus 196. Morgan Charrier minus 260. You don't know who to pick? Throw that out the window. Let's go with the over 2.5. You guys know what the bonus, I let you guys choose the over or the under. Over 2.5 minus 170, under 2.5 plus 115. Give me the over 2.5 at a minus 170. I think it should be able to hit, and I do think both of these guys are very durable. It's just that against Doo-Ho Choi, he was getting put in that crucifix position, and he did get finished, but I do think that normally Nate Landwehr does get dropped, but he comes right back, and he's always as tough as a dog. Give me both of these guys to be durable. And for the over 2.5 to hit, let's go the over 2.5 at a minus 170. Let's go. Now we're going to go into the second bonus. Let's go. Without further ado, let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Calvin Kattar versus Steve Garcia. Calvin Kattar plus 102. Steve Garcia minus 130. You don't know what to do. You don't know who to pick. Throw that out the window. The bonus is going to be the over 1.5. Does this fight go 7.5 minutes? Over 1.5 minus 185. Under 1.5 plus 125. I think both of these guys are durable enough to last 7.5 minutes. The over 1.5 at a minus 185. If you have this in your book, I think you should jump on it. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but I know Calvin Kattar, the majority of his fights in the UFC have lasted the over 1.5. The only thing is about Steve Garcia is he's been finishing a lot of these guys inside the first round, but Calvin Kattar is not Kyle Nelson, Sung-Hoo Choi, Costa, Chase Hooper. Calvin Kattar is very durable, and I do think he can last 7.5 minutes. Calvin Kattar is very defensively sound as well, and I believe against Arnold Allen when he blew out his knee, that was a very, something that won't normally happen, but we do have to be aware of that, just in case some injury happens to Qatar if he's getting leg kicked. I do think the over 1.5 should be able to hit. Both of these guys to be durable and last 7.5 minutes. Let's go. Now we're going to go to the parlay section. Let me know what you guys think. Let's go about the two bonuses. This is the parlay section. Parley Time. Parley Time. Tuesday special video, baby. Let's go. Shout out to you guys in the chat for the live, for actually reminding me, I should probably do the lock of the week today. So, big shout out to you guys for joining the live. Let's go. Parley Time. Fatima Klein to beat Melissa Martinez. Fatima Klein. Mike Davis. Moneyline, by the way, because it was a little bit harder for me to find good odds because all the props aren't up yet. They'll be up tomorrow. Klein, Mike Davis, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Eduardo Mora, Chris Curtis, and Chidi Nchukwuani. 6-leg plus 331. I think that one's not that bad, but I will say, as we get more down, we get more confident. Next parlay. Tallison Teixeira, Gabriel Bonfim, Morgan Charrier, Vitor Porcino, and Junior Tafa, 5-leg plus 307. I like this one as well. Next parlay, Gabriel Bonfim, Steve Garcia, 2-leg plus 118. This is one of my favorites, guys. Gabriel Bonfim, Steve Garcia. Obviously, we're playing with fire. We're risking the unknown about the Steve Garcia fight and the Gabriel Bonfim fight. Wonderboy is very good. He's 41 years old, but he's very good, and he doesn't look anywhere near it. I do think that this is a nice little safety conservative parlay. Next parlay, Morgan Charrier, Vitor Porcino, and Chris Curtis. 3-leg parlay for plus 106. You get plus money barely, but I still think it's very confident. Maybe you could take a double chance, or you could take another prop, or you can mix in another leg. You know, by tomorrow, we'll have way better props. Next parlay, Tallison Teixeira, over 2.5 Nate Landwehr, Morgan Charrier fight, and the over 1.5 Garcia Calvin Kattar fight, 3-leg plus 222. It's good luck. I like that one. One of my favorite parlays. Next parlay, over 1.5 Kennedy Walker fight, over 1.5 Eduardo Mora Lauren Murphy fight, over 2.5 Chris Curtis Griffin fight, and Junior Tafa moneyline plus 267. This was a little bit of a Hail Mary, but I still think it has life. And the last parlay, over 2.5 Morgan Charrier Nate Landwehr fight, and the over 2.5 Jake Matthews Chidi and Njokuani fight. I like this 2-leg parlay for plus 140. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the lock of the week, guys. Let me know if you guys like this parlay section, if you like the lock of the week, the 6 best bets, or you guys like the bonus section. What's your favorite part? Let me know what you guys think. 6 best bets in lock of the week. Does it go to 6, or does it all crash and burn? Let me know what you guys think. Peace. Hey, the best is blessed. Hey, drop a like.